Greetings, everybody. My name is James. I am from the internet, and today we are going to be talking about patriotism and populism. Now, today is the 17th of September, S-17, the 10-year anniversary of the birth date of the Occupy Wall Street movement. And today and throughout the weekend, there are going to be meetings, assemblies, protests, and people coming together all around the country to celebrate both what happened 10 years ago and what people have been doing over the last decade after Occupy to continue pushing the needle forward and creating change. Now, normally, this would be a weekend where I would get to kick back, relax, go catch up with some old friends, see how they've been doing in their communities with their organizing efforts and all the great stuff that they have been up to. But turns out there's going to be another gathering this weekend, and because it is newsworthy and in my wheelhouse, well, that's what I'm going to be spending most of my weekend keeping track of. Please allow me to give you a preview of what's coming this weekend in Washington, D.C. Trump calls upcoming Justice for J6 rally a setup. There are currently more than 600 people charged in the January 6th Capitol breach. Yes, everybody, your favorite patriots, the Oath Keepers, the bootlickers, the flag wearers, the sheep-drenched drinkers. Yeah, all those fine folk. Apparently, they're going to get together this weekend in Washington, D.C. and protest the fact that some of their friends broke the law and got arrested. They're very angry, and so they're going to go to Washington, D.C. to let people know. Also, this event is going to be such a failure shit show that even Donald Trump, the guy whose election lies, all of this is in support of, is like, yeah, I wouldn't bother going. So this is a really, really good start for what should be an awesome weekend for all those fine patriotic folk. Former President Donald Trump on Thursday called Saturday's Justice for J6 rally a setup for Republican voters, regardless of the outcome. Quote, on Saturday, that's a total setup. If people don't show up, they'll say it's a lack of spirit. And if people do show up, they'll be harassed. You see, it's lose-lose. So either way, it doesn't matter. I'm totally not greasing the skids, for all the bad press I'm going to get either way. And also, I still play the air accordion. The former president found multiple ways to weigh in on the upcoming rally, sending out a statement echoing the message of the potential rally goers. The people who he said shouldn't go because it's a lose-lose. He still sent out a press release separate from his interview to extol the virtues of those who are going to go to the protest that he said they shouldn't go to, that's being held in his name, the name of his campaign fraud allegations, and all the people who got arrested, quote, defending him when they totally weren't doing insurrection. The narrative surrounding January 6th has been warped by some members of the Republican Party, especially groups planning to rally on September 18th in support of those currently detained for participating in the insurrection. I remember literally tens of thousands of people far wiser than me screaming at me over the last decade, if you don't want to get arrested, then don't break the law. I seem to remember hearing that literally thousands of times. I wonder where all that sage advice was on January 6th. When all those patriotic back the blue people were busy breaking the law and are now wondering why it is they got arrested. The shift in messaging has aimed to cast those on trial as, quote, political prisoners. There are more than 600 people charged in the January 6th Capitol breach. Trump used his platform to fuel that narrative on Thursday, once again projecting his false claim, the very one that drove the insurrectionists to the Capitol on January 6th. That the election was stolen, a.k.a. the big lie, a.k.a. the entire marketing and campaign slogan for every single Republican running in the 2022 and 2024 elections that doesn't currently have a 30-point lead over their projected Democratic opponent. Quote, "Our hearts and minds are with the people being persecuted so unfairly relating to the January 6th protest concerning the rigged presidential election. You know, the one where Hugo Chavez's corpse dug himself out of his own grave, then built a time machine, went back into time, created the company Dominion Voting, then handcrafted voting machines, then wrote code for the year 2020 that would ensure that I, Donald Trump, would lose the election while every other ballot and election was totally not fixed or rigged. Then he got in a time machine, came to the future, dropped off the Dominion voting machines, and then he went back into time and put himself back in his grave. It's all very complicated. Little simple people like you wouldn't understand. Just know that in this country, there is most assuredly a two-tiered system of justice. In the end, however, we will prevail. Also, totally don't go to this rally on Saturday. And if you do, please do not wear Trump gear. It's a bad look for me. No, I'm not joking. There are a ton of threads on Facebook and Parler and Gab and all the other sites encouraging Trump supporters to not wear Trump gear if they do come out this weekend to the protest that Donald Trump says is a lose-lose situation anyway, and he should know because the entire thing is based upon him, and pretty much everything in life relating to Trump is lose-lose. Meanwhile, as Donald Trump keeps telling his sycophants to not go to the rally in defense of him and his supporters, as he's sending out fundraising emails 3 times a day every day to the entirety of his mail list, the police are reminding people who do decide to come to D.C. this weekend that there are these things called laws, and that if you don't want to go to jail, you shouldn't break the law. You know, just in case all the people who come to D.C. wearing their Back the Blue shirts are confused as to what the law is and what the ramifications are of being arrested for breaking said laws. Also, all those same bootlickers who wear the Back the Blue t-shirts and tell you that if you don't want to get arrested or you don't want to get killed by the cops, you just shouldn't break the law. You know, the ones who are against defunding the police, the ones who want an aggressive, militaristic police state to crack down on all the libturds. Hey, guess what, patriots? You got what you wanted. Look, expanded pseudo-military police surveillance. Congratulations, you got what you wanted. Y'all love the goddamn police state so goddamn much? Well, now you made it a reality just in time for your fun little gathering. And of course, to all my leftist friends, stay home. Don't bother going. Just watch the live streams and laugh. It's what I'm going to be doing all weekend. Besides, they don't need any more opposition. There's already going to be plenty of opposition circulating around through that crowd as it is. Stay home, chill, take the weekend off. Y'all will be fine. And now, to show you what a complete and utter non-populist event this is going to be, what a ridiculous shit show the Support the Insurrectionists protest is going to be this weekend, allow me to introduce you to Republican Congressional Representative Adam Kinzinger and his take on these people and what to expect this weekend in D.C.
Oath keepers may try to sound like there's some constitutional America flag waving thing. No, they are all about the overthrow of the federal government. I mean, this overthrow the government fetish that exists. I don't understand it, except there's a lot of bored people out there that probably never served a day in their life in the military and get to go play dress up. You cannot be against the Constitution and also somehow swear to the Constitution that you're going to protect it. It's bullcrap, and frankly, if we have to have this fence put up every time somebody that hates the federal government goes and rallies, it is time for the Republican Party to denounce militiaism.
So what does this mean to you, the average viewer at home, who might have plans this weekend to go out and about? it means absolutely nothing. You're totally fine. This is like 500 LARPers are going to show up in Washington, D.C. They're going to meekly parade back and forth in front of some fences. They're going to chant some slogans. They're going to look at the line of cops lined up. They're going to realize that it's useless, and they're going to go home. And I don't even say this snarkily, because as somebody who's covered more than 1,100 protests in their lifetime, I understand this is the way 95% of protests go. People only focus on the 5% of protests that end in violence or damage to buildings and properties. So how is it that I know that literally nobody else is going to show up to this other than a handful of diehard people who are all yell and no spine? Well, it's because I understand reality. And the J6th rally was after an election when everybody was still filled with anger, and Donald Trump Jr. and the My Pillow dude and Roger Stone and even the big tangerine menace himself came out and gave speeches and whipped a crowd into a frenzy before organized semi-militia groups did their mission and used all these people as a cover to break into the Capitol building. That's not going to happen this time. There is no Donald Trump Jr. There is no My Pillow guy. There is no big rally and speakers to bring in the crowds. Why? Because they know the crowds aren't coming. You know what's different now than in January 6th? Yeah, there's football again. There's college football all day Saturday. There's pro football all day Sunday. Kids are back in school. We got the return to normalcy we wanted. And so all of those people are going to go back to their normal suburban lives. So no, Pete the Patriot isn't going to be wearing 6 different pieces of clothing that are all made of an American flag while trying to storm the Capitol building this weekend. He's going to be in his backyard with 6 of his buddies watching the Alabama game on a fucking projector that goes onto the side of his garage behind his house. And they're going to barbecue and eat chicken wings and drink beer. So to all my friends who 10 years ago today made a decision to get on a train that moves very, very slowly and arduously to push change, I salute you. I appreciate you. And I hope you all enjoy yourselves this weekend while you look back on the last decade and all the things you've accomplished since the beginning of Occupy Wall Street. And to the rest of you out there, you patriots who are going to be sitting at home instead of going to Washington, D.C., don't feel bad. This is exactly how we knew this was all going to end anyway. Until next time, my name is James. I'm from the internet, and I am out. Peace.